I gotta get a setup like yours.
Oh, it's fine. We're
Just
live.
a better.
Can you see, like, did
Guys.
it say on your end? Does it say we're live?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is kind of new. Like, I've only done this with a couple people, and this is how I do my parties, but it won't go into Facebook. I just post the link in Facebook. So it's not like normal, but this isn't a normal night because we have a very special guest named Ramona Capelli.
Hello. It's not Monday moments, but it is Monday.
Yes, it is. I don't even think, or maybe some people know what your Monday moments are?
Andrea, she usually watches.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's nice.
Very she did nice. This morning. She was my first one watching. She's like, hello.
I love it. Okay. So we are going to pray and do a couple quick announcements. And then Ramona is going to share about her trip to and from Dallas. So do you want to pray, Mona, or you want me to pray?
You can pray.
Okay. Lord, thank you so much for another Monday. You know how much I love Mondays. And I'm just very grateful today to have the opportunity to recap our trip and all of the insight and knowledge and wisdom and dreams that you were able to plant in us while we were away. We are so grateful to share and hope that that something that we share tonight inspires somebody else. It's in your name we always pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So not very many announcements. It is still the beginning of the month, so we are doing good. The only thing that I really, really want to talk about, well, a couple things that I really want to talk about before we hear from Mona is the fact that Mary Kay is doing a free giveaway. I'm not sure if you have seen this yet, but the free giveaway is the when you buy a micellar water and when you buy a eye makeup remover, you get the little cotton rounds for free. Now, I just placed an order today, so I'll have them to show you in the next couple days. I actually think my order shipped already, which is crazy. So hopefully I'll have it in the next couple days and I'll make a video for you guys so you can see them. But they're like a pack of 5 and they're like little circle cotton rounds. It's just a nice freebie that comes with both of those. So, and there's no, let me double check. I don't think there's any limits. Yeah, it's just available while supplies last, and they're like all different colors. They're real cute. We've had them before, and you might not be into them, but it would be a great giveaway for a customer. Or you could like split them up and put them. You could wrap them up real cute. Christmas is coming, so you could think about. You guys are more creative than me, so you could think about some ideas. Yes, you are. When it comes to gift wrapping, my friend, you win the treat. Mona had the opportunity, like a couple weeks ago, you got that vendor that you were able to give product to or something. And you guys should have seen, you should post those pictures. It was gorgeous. And I had a customer contact me Saturday, and she said, hey, can you donate to this charity thing? I'm like, sure, I would love to, but do I have to wrap it? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, good. So I took a bag, like literally one of our Mary Kay bags, and hung it on her porch. I'm like, I am not great at wrapping, but you know, that's the cool thing about this is that you say
my bows aren't good. But I wish I could do those umpteen fluffy bow things, but you know.
Your bows are better than my, throat stuff in a bag. So I wanted to make you guys aware of the freebie. That's important. And I also wanted to bring your attention to our new prizes this month. So we got to see these when we went to Dallas. It's actually super cute when you hit your 350 by the 15th, which is not until next Thursday. You're going to get these cute little pearl earrings, and I posted those on our Facebook group, so you can go check those out. If you want me to text you a picture of them, I totally can. And then when you hit your 700 by the 15th, you're going to get this really cute chunky pearl ring and the game set. And the game set includes a deck of Mary Kay cards, which I've never had. I'm really excited about, and a set of dominoes that are Mary Kay dominoes, and they're like
pretty.
They're so cute. They're like marble.
Yeah, so they're really pretty.
Those are the prizes until the 15th. But then after the 15th, you can earn new products. So you definitely want to go check that out, because when you hit your 700, not only are you going to hit get your game set, the cards and the dominoes, but you're also going to be able to pick a new eyeshadow. And we got to play with those. What do you think about the new eyeshadow, Mona?
They're really pretty. I like that they're matte. They're not glistening like the other ones, or I don't know what they call it, like
shimmery. They're not shimmery.
Shimmer. I couldn't remember the word, but they're matte, and I really like that.
And they're like the liquid. They're like a tube.
Yep. They're just like the other ones, but they're matte versus shimmer. So I love that they did that. There's always like that neutral one that's kind of that tan light color, and then or like neutral. And then the green is just really striking. It's really pretty. It's like forest green. And then the other one is like a mauve brown or something. I can't remember.
Warm desert. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like really mauve brown. That's a great description.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you hit your 700, I'm going to send you a new eyeshadow. You get to pick the color. And then when you hit your 1,000 wholesale for the month, you're going to get the game set for Mary Kay. And then you get to pick 2 eyeshadows from me. And then when you hit your 1,500, you can pick, there's new lipsticks coming. And they are all matte. And they are in the hydrating formula. And they're really pretty. There's a mauve, a toasted plum, a black cherry, hushed blush, and a natural. Do you remember, which one did you like the best? Do you remember?
I think the step right before the dark plum.
I think so too. The maybe the black, was it the toasted plum or the mauve crush?
I think it was the toasted plum.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So there's pictures if you want to go see them. They're on the back of our hands. We loved,
because we were able to do the what is it called? Hold on. In my mess of a makeup stand, they're the sample lipstick wands. We were able to take it and put it on us, and that plum one was really pretty on me.
I was just proud of you for stepping out of your box.
On my box? What do you mean?
Stepping out of your comfort zone and wearing a dark lip.
Oh yeah, I know. Hey, I'm wearing the casual rose today.
Love.
Although it's probably faded a little bit, but
no, it looks good. It looks.
I was gonna wear the red because I have the red, white, and blue, but I thought the casual rose was like reddish, burnt orange. Like I don't know. It's casual rose is an odd color. It's like a red, but then it kind of has an orange hue.
It kind of goes rusty.
Yes, rusty. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Somebody is watching, and I don't know who it is, and I would love to say hi to you if you want to be anonymous. That's okay. But somebody's watching. I was like looking. I'm like, I want to say hi. Okay, so the only other announcement 2 more announcements. Next Monday, so a week from today, is our deadline for our August 22nd makeover event, which we are totally blowing out of the water. I'm so excited. And the deadline for you to register or your guests to register for free makeup samples is a week from today, preferably by noon. So if we could get that done early, that would be awesome. And I'm going to put those all together. Last announcement for today is they are running a special, and Mary Kay is running a special called Boost Your Credit this month. And so basically when we do 13% higher in August of right now than we did of August last year, then we are going to get an extra 13,000 added to our total so that it helps us finish our 300,000 unit club that we have been shooting for way too long. We're doing it this year. And that extra credit is going to help us so much. So our goal this month is 10,000. Okay. And right now we're at 1,000. So it's good. It's early. We got time. We have momentum. That's huge. And I know I break it down for you all the time, and I'll probably do that again this week sometime where I break it down. I'm like, if all of us sold 25 mascaras, then it would be done. And so we'll work on that later. I don't have that number for you right now, but that's exciting that they're giving us a little extra credit. So I reached out to Ramona early. Well, we were talking about it. We were talking about it where we were in Dallas, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was just like, do you want to come on and share? Because it was her first trip to Dallas. And so I have some questions for her. and she is going to answer them. But do you want to say anything before I start asking you questions, Mona?
Do you have yours on?
I do, twins.
Woo! Wait,
So pretty.
I'm not as good as you as finding the camera. There
You're
we
right
go.
there. You got it. You're right there. Look
Keep
how
moving.
pretty. It's real. If you didn't think it was real, it's real. Look, I love it.
I was talking to my friend, and I don't know if you guys saw or if you read, Abby, that they described this as the amethyst in the middle. Gosh, I am so bad at this. Amethyst with
Yeah.
the diamonds surrounding it, and
Okay.
then 2 little aquamarines. I literally, Abby, you have to train me.
No, it's good. You're fine. It's
There's
good.
little tiny amethysts or
Aquamarine.
aquamarines on either side. So I'm like, amethysts are purple, purple pinks. They're not green. And so I thought it was like
Aquamarine.
an aquamarine.
Yeah.
And so one of my friends, we had to go to a dear friend's funeral this weekend in Columbus, and part of our like couples group that we've known since our boys were little elementary. And now they're 32 years old, 31 years old. But she said, no, that's an amethyst. There are green amethysts.
I'm just
like,
Googling it. I'm like, oh yeah, there is. It totally looks like that.
Yeah, yeah. And so she goes, well, that's her birthstone. So she like researched it, and her purple is her favorite color. So it's like it's that amethyst is like that purplish pink purple. And she said, yeah. So I'm like, okay, so now I feel like, okay, this is a green amethyst. I'm cool with that, and the diamonds, so I love it.
Good.
But anyway.
Good.
Why did you stop sharing screens, Abby?
Because I wanted you to be spotlighted.
I feel lonely.
Oh, here. Well, I'll come back on to ask you a question, then I'm going to go away again.
Okay.
Okay. So first question for you, Miss Queens of Sales. What would you say was your top takeaways from the trainings while we were in Dallas?
Okay. So Abby did give me these questions before, and I could answer off the cuff, but I'm glad she sent them to me because I was able to kind of go through them and think about it and really contemplate. And that let me like put some bullet points down that I really am glad, because I get to share all my thoughts instead of just like off the top of my head. So I kind of jotted a few things down. So one of the things that we learn in training is be willing to reach out both in person and online. Mary Kay is going forward with, trying to advance as society goes on and social media goes on. So there was a director that talked to us about social media and TikTok and, what's Instagram, Facebook, stories, all of that. And I've heard those before. There's a lot of consultants though that are used to the person-to-person, in-person parties, in-person individual appointments. So, they were really trying to like make it easy for you and learn how to do all types. So I think for me, I don't know if I would have joined as a consultant or started to sell as a consultant if it was in person, because I don't know. I'm not shy, but that's like, I'm not a salesperson, and I feel like that would be pressure. So
I'm not a salesperson, says the girl that sold enough to get a diamond ring, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's the way I look at it. It's like, I don't feel like this is selling for me. Yeah. I look at it differently as like, I can't sell. I'm not a salesperson. So the online stuff is great for me. But that's where I came in on. And there's some people that didn't. But for me, in person, I've only done a few. So I do have to be willing, and I try to open it up, but there are a lot of people, old and young, that love the online and love the texting and love the face-to-face on your phone or on your laptop. So it just be open to be able to do all of them. The other thing I jotted down was no matter what level of consultant I was introduced or talked to, they gave me genuine praise, which made me realize that it was because they came from the exact same start as I did. And it gave me hope and encouragement. I'm sorry, I get emotional about things all the time, but it really was amazing to be able to see these women talk, these national sales directors and directors that are like 1, 2, 3 in the diamond national area, and 2 and 3 and top 10 in the national across the board, as well as directors that are like trip winners and 500,000 set sales for the year, and they all started where I started. So that was amazing. um, Consistency, keep plugging away, keep plugging along, doing that same thing. It seems menial, sometimes it seems not enjoyable, but do that routine. It's a routine and it keeps you going. um, and I said, don't let your activity drop off, other than like if you're going on vacation. But honestly, I work during vacation too, because we all have moments in vacation that we are lazing around. Some people wake up later than or earlier, or we in the night we all watch junk TV and we're all just laying around talking or whatever, and I can get on my phone and I can work. So, not every moment is family time on vacation. So I take those opportunities to do that. But always just keep working. Um, and know your goal. What do you want? What are you working for? Something that you're working for? I'm working for the remodeling of my home. We haven't done much to the whole house and it needs remodeled. And figure out what you need to do to achieve that, and then break it down and manage it. And Abby's super good at helping you with that. Um, and it just makes it just such a smaller, like, I remember Brittany, the national sales director who lives in Columbus, who I got to go to her national debut in Columbus. And that was like, she went to her first, I think I remember hearing when she talked about it, that was her first seminar. And she went into that hall because I guess I got to do the, what is it, Abby, the warehouse,
Manufacturing plant.
the manufacturing plant.
Mhm.
Next year, we'll get to go to the headquarters.
Yeah.
But she got to go and see that hall, and she was like, I'm going to be a national sales director. And that was her goal. That's not my goal. But know your goal and work for it and break it down. What do you have to do? And then I don't focus on that goal. I just focus on the daily, and it gets me and it gets me and it gets me. It's like a Flintstone car. But yeah, that's it.
I love it. I wish I'm going to go back and watch this again and take some notes, because you had some really good nuggets in there from the training. Thank you. So, second question, a little less training focused, a little more reward focused. Describe the entire, you can take as much time as you want. We're like so excited to listen to you. The entire royalty reception, the backstage time, waiting to go out on stage, and then being on stage to pick up your first diamond ring. Tell us about that entire night.
Okay.
Your amazing makeup artist that did your makeup in the hotel room. If you want to get
Abby made me look beautiful.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
No, literally earlier on, it's like, okay, Abby, you have to do my makeup. And she's like, you can do it. And I'm like, not that extra oomph, So she helped me with that. And then she told me, add more mascara and more blush and, and lipstick. And it was like, I felt gorgeous. It was so special. So first of all, it was, I did not, okay, so wait. I will say that it was July 31st. Wednesday was the awards, and it was July 31st, which was my mom's birthday. And She would have been 97 years old. Um, and I had her hanky with me and her peridot diamond ring. And it was just that, along with everything else that layered through that day, was just, it made it so special. Um, so I had to add that because that was just, I think God blessed me with that. Um, so it's funny because I look back and, everybody's like, are you excited? Are you excited? Are you excited? I came up at what, 12:30 that day, and we had to be back there at 1:30. And I was like, we were late because the air conditioning went out and flooded the floor, and they were cleaning that up. So we got in like 40 minutes late, and they still did all the training. And I was like, getting worried. um, but like walked 10 or 15,000 steps a day, I think. Went and got my box lunch and then went upstairs. So I'm just going to eat upstairs, and got in the room, and the three, Abby and Beth and Joe, were all up there already, and they're like, "Are you excited?" And I'm like, "Not yet." I'm like, I really, my mind wasn't. I don't know if it wasn't letting me go there, or just I didn't exactly know what to expect. So I wasn't excited until we went down. We were starting to walk from the hotel on. It was pretty cool to see all the women. And it wasn't like just prom, it was the red carpet. It was awesome to see all the women. They were all ecstatic and happy and taking pictures. There were so many different photo opportunities, photo ops, but the different styles of dresses. And it was that it just started to build then. And let's see, yeah, I loved seeing all the women in their dresses, and the styles and the hairstyles and the happy faces. The atmosphere was perfect when we got in there. There was a really super long line. You're like, oh my gosh. But it went so fast, and everybody was so happy, and seeing people they had seen from years before, friends that live in different states. But when we got in there, the atmosphere was perfect because it was like low lights. There was great food. There was lots of photo ops, um, and they don't give you just the sash. We walk over to this area, and you get your card that you go backstage for, and then you go up to this other person, and then they know what sash to give you, and you have to like stand there and you put your arm out and they put it on for you. So it's not like, here, okay, next one. So that was special, and Abby got all the pictures. I hope everybody saw those that she posted. Let's see. Oh, and the general sessions area was amazing. Oh, and the one thing, Abby, next year if they have it, we have to go to that one side where they had that
The
turnstile.
spinny thing. I know.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool. And
They've never had that before. I didn't know that
Really?
was there. No.
Oh, well, Jenny got a picture and she showed us. She's a director from Texas. She's so sweet. Um, and that's what I loved about the directors, were so sweet and so like praiseworthy, and like they just loved on you, and they know because they were in the same position as you were before, at the start. So we're not little like, oh well, you're just a consultant. That's not the way it is. And you also need to be reaching out and say and introduce yourself and talk to people. And I made friends with the woman that sat next to me at the general session room, which is where the huge stages where the awards happened. So let's see. The general session was like so cool. They had so many different screens, and the stage was huge, and it was like multiple stages extended, and the ramps to go up the stage. They had the crowning seat for the what was it? The Queen of
Queen.
Sale, Queen of Sharing, from the top 10 come down from the ceiling. It's just like amazing. The effects on the screens, it literally was the Academy Awards. the production that they put into this, they had performances, they had individual special performances, and they had this what was like a Broadway group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you could describe it more, but they did different
It's
songs.
like a performance arts company that does, yeah. And they do like Mary Kay themed songs and dances and fireworks and yeah.
It was so cool. It was so cool. But literally it was like a production. So let me see. The red carpet MCs, which Abby, you have to say who the MCs were. I know who they were, but I don't know their names and what their positions were.
So it was Kelly and Michael. And Kelly is like the VP of national sales directors, and she's real classy. And she actually used to work for, I believe, Rodan and Fields. So she's been in direct sales before. And then Michael he's hilarious. I don't know what he does, but he was so funny. And they were like the MCs the whole week, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah. And he was on the Spring Forward event
Oh,
that
right.
the two sisters did.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I first met him and heard him. And he was just like so heartfelt and loves Mary Kay. He wasn't sure about getting a job there. And he just has so much respect for Mary Kay and the company and loves his job. So, and you could tell he was the comedian of the two.
Totally.
um, but let's see, the production behind the scenes. So you would get the call, you know, all consultants that are Queen's Court of Sales, please report backstage. And so you get up and you got your card, and Abby walked me back, so I knew what I was doing. And you got in line, and you kept going through the line of this red carpet, and it finally took you behind the stage, and the red carpet continued, and there were TVs as you went along the way, so you didn't miss anything. There was production tables and with like all the computer stuff and the technology. It literally, it reminded me of like if you watch any morning show that are live and they'll take you back to the production, where the production manager is and all that, and everybody's on the, got their headsets on and they got everything in control and switch to this screen and that screen. That's what it was like. It was so cool. um, I ended up getting right in front of Barb, who was from Ravenna, who knows Abby and Beth. I don't know. Do you know who I'm talking about,
Mhm.
Abby?
Yeah, Barb Stream.
Okay. So she was really sweet, and she was with two other consultants of hers, or actually directors of hers in her group, I guess, and then a new consultant that made the Queen's Court of Sale as a consultant. So I got to talk to them. That made me feel a little comfortable knowing. Like, I didn't know Barb great, but I'd met her like one time before. And then she happened to fly on the same plane as we did to Texas, and then on the way back too. And then I met a girl that it was Hispanic descent, and she was in front of me. It was her first seminar, and it was her first, and she got the Queen's Court Sale. So it was nice meeting her, and we talked. You just kind of talk with each other, and you get to watch the TV and watch. So let me see, because I don't want to get like I don't want to miss anything of what I said. You keep walking to the backstage, okay, and didn't really see the whole room since audience was there. Oh, okay. So when you go back, you keep walking the red carpet and you go up, towards the stage, and it leads you up towards the stage. And there's so many people that help in this production. It's huge. And you give your card and they verify how you pronounce your name. And then they give it to the announcers. And then you wait and they go, okay, go out. And they tell you what to do, where to go, and then walk down the ramp, and you go out. But as I was waiting and walking through the backstage area, you got to watch people on stage. And I watched people, and I don't know if it was from maybe embarrassment or being shy, or I don't know, but they didn't seem, some women didn't seem excited. And some, it's like they weren't smiling, or they hardly waved, or, and I thought to myself, unbeknownst to me, as I went through the year, I didn't realize how close I was getting to Queens Quarter Sale. And I think it was May that Abby talked to me and it's like, do you know how close you are? This is, let's do a plan. Do you want this? And I'm like, well, yeah. But all year I just kept nose to the grindstone. Um, and I did work hard and I earned that. And I'm like, I'm excited. This is awesome. And I earned this. And my awesome customers supported me and let me earn this because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. So I'm gonna enjoy this, make the most of this, have fun, be excited. And I was already tutored on how to wave your arm up high, straight up. Don't be doing this and flopping. So I just thought, you know what? I decided the only thing I knew I was going to do was be excited, have fun. And then I do what I do when I get out there because I lose my brain sometimes when that happens and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not a planner in that sense. And it was amazing. It was so fun. And I thought of my mom and I, thought of God blessing me with this because I feel so blessed. And I didn't see a lot of people because it was pretty dark in the main room. You heard people and you heard cheering, and I didn't actually hear Abby screaming, "Ah, come on!" But I'm sure it was muffled in my brain.
Listen, I'm just a proud mom over here. Just a proud mom. The girl next to me had to move away from me because I was screaming so loud.
Well, you were awesome. Abby was awesome all weekend or all week long, catching every moment. I'm used to being the photographer in my family and catching all the moments, and Abby did that for me. And I thank you so much, Abby. That was just amazing that you did that. I did take some pictures of myself, or the factory, but she caught all the moments, and it was amazing because I didn't have to worry about that. And she guided me through everything. Let's see, and getting my ring. Okay, so getting my ring, it was a lot lower key. But what was cool was when we came up to that area, the general session, where the ceremony was going to be, where I took my classes, and where everybody started out listening to speeches of different people. There was a huge line. She goes, see where those ladies are just there's just packs of them winding through. They're waiting they're getting their ring. She goes, we'll do it after you get recognized and before Beth and I get recognized. And I'm like, sounds like a plan. I'm going with it because I have no idea what to do. And so by the time we got there was no line. So we walked right up to the counter and I gave them my card or said my name. And there were 3 ladies behind there and they were like, oh, yay. They were cheering me and they were happy for me. It wasn't just yep, here's your ring, sign this. But you had to sign a card. It seemed very official. I got my ring and Abby and Beth took pictures of that. So that was cool. And they gave you a beautiful box for it in a bag. So I got to take that. And yeah, so I think that's it.
I love hearing it from your perspective because it makes me think of my first time.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, that leads us perfectly into the next question. Oh, sorry. I know I told you I would come on here and
thank you
when I'm asking you questions. So that leads us into our next question perfectly. It doesn't have to be one piece. You can give more than one piece, but what's some advice that you would give to maybe other consultants that are watching or going to watch this later, that they want to earn their own diamond ring? They want to build a solid customer base. They want to make some money in Mary Kay. What piece of advice would you give them, or multiple pieces of advice?
Okay. So what I put down was, don't think so much about it. But just keep doing the work. Consistency in the small stuff. That definitely isn't always the favorite part, the messaging and the list making and the hesitancy of oh, I don't want to just do it. Just send it. Oh, no, I don't want to just send it. Um, you want to know what your goal is, and you want to be able to have kind of like a plan or an idea, but not focusing on that and just focusing on doing the job and connecting with people and um, making them the important part, because they feel that. They'll feel that, and they will give back to you.
Well said. Well said. I think my favorite part that I just needed that, because what you said about the little things that none of us like to do, the list making and the messaging, and you're like, should I do one more? I don't know. I've already done a couple. I feel weird. That's the stuff that no one sees. It's so similar. Is it not the same as like living healthy and like, going to the gym, working
Yeah.
out, whatever, doing your eating? Nobody sees that crap. They just see the results.
Yeah.
And you're on stage with all of these rock stars, and you know darn well that they're all going home to work in their PJs, in their workout clothes, no bra, making their lists and messaging their people. And like, that's not the glamorous stuff, but the little consistent, I love how you said that. The small consistent actions are going to get you where you want to go.
Yeah. And focusing on the people, and not your want for a sale, but like, yeah, you want the sale, but that's not your main goal, and I do have to say that this trip was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days. And every single one of us went back to the room. And yes, we had talk and discussion and casual, like relaxing. But every time we went back to the room, and when we weren't in the room and we had a pause, we were working. Like, you got to take your moments, and you got to do your work when you can, and chip away at it. So it wasn't a vacation, but it was a vacation.
Yeah. Okay, last question. What was your favorite part? What was your favorite part of the whole thing?
Okay. So I put down a few things. The award ceremony. That was pretty amazing. I didn't really know exactly what it was going to be like. And now that actually after the experience and seeing the pictures and then thinking everything through, it was amazing. It was amazing. And Mary Kay does such a good job, like Abby says, celebrating us, and hearing like it's your time. That's the moment to be able to go, yeah, I did this. I was good at this. I made all those women happy and love to wear makeup or love their skin because they're using skincare. So that was like that was probably my fave. And then the pink party was pretty fun. Now, every year it's not called the pink party. Excuse me. But it's fun to just see like people have fun with music and dancing and just laughing. And it was just total fun. It was not inspirational. It was not teaching, learning. It was just fun. Good food and then fun. And I hope you guys saw the picture. We all wore these hot pink wigs. It was so funny. And oh my gosh, that's another thing of my mom's. I wore my mom's. Was it Monday night was the party?
Yeah.
Okay. I wore my mom's 1970s. I don't even know. I think it was early 70s, if not 1970, house dress. That was like that bright neon fuchsia green with that hot pink. It was like checkerboard and floral. Abby convinced me to wear that, even though everybody else wore like regular clothes.
It was fun. It was so good.
But it went with the wig perfectly. I would have never like planned it better. But yeah, that was just pure fun. pure enjoyment, pure, great band. It was like gosh, do they play every year, Abby?
Yeah. Aren't they
They're,
awesome?
they're good. They're
Yeah.
really good. And they're fun. They
Mhm.
don't just perform, they interact. So that was a blast. Um, Hearing Pam Shaw speak at the general sessions, and she spoke at our consultant training. Pam Shaw is an NSD. No,
Yeah.
she's an NSD.
Yep.
Yes. Hello. Yes. And she's retiring this year. It's her last seminar because you have to retire at 65 as an NSD. So I got to hear her speak, and she's an amazing speaker. She's accomplished so much, and her life has not always been easy, for sure. Um, how she started out and what she went through, her husband passed away, all of that. It was awesome to think that I got to hear her and her
Mhm.
last year. It was extra special for her and us.
Mhm.
But I also was able to hear her speak at Britney's national debut last year. And I won't jump ahead, but the other thing is getting to hear Lisa Madsen talk. She was first in the Diamonds, national sales director, first in the Diamonds national area. Got to hear her talk several times. Amazing. And they're so real. Like Lisa is like so real. And I don't know, where is she from, Abby?
Lisa is from Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell by her accent. I love her. So I thought that was so special. Those, hearing from all the national sales directors and all the top directors, amazing. You look at them, they started where I did.
Mhm.
It is just mind blowing. And it gives you such encouragement and hope and inspiration. Just can't even go on more about it. So the other thing I put down is okay, so I've been to all the career conferences since I started selling, January of last year. I went to 2 career conferences, the spring and the fall. I went to Brittany's national sale NSD debut in Columbus. And the first one I went to was like a little overwhelming because I'd only been in like 4 months, and I didn't know a lot about product. I didn't know a lot about sales. I didn't know, and it was a little overwhelming. And I was like, I'm not sure this is for me. And yeah, it's okay. um, but it gave me more information. And Abby has always helped me along the way. And I just kind of like naturally went into it. And then the national debut of Britney was amazing because I think I don't know, Abby, if I was right, but there had to be like 6 to 10 national sales directors
Yeah.
there.
There was a lot.
Got to hear every single one. And is that a norm, Abby?
Well, no, that's
Okay.
like a once in a lifetime event.
Yeah. So that was amazing. And then the second career conference I went to was spring this year, right? In
Uh-huh.
Columbus.
Yep.
That was so different for me because I'd been in it a year, and that gave me I picked up so much more and came at it from such a different spot in my career and my life. So I just want to say, and this seminar, I was like, I'm going to go to seminar. My husband's waving from me from outside. He just got home, and I'm like, okay, hi. So,
Love it.
so the seminar, I wanted to go. Of course, huge part of it was I earned national Queen's Court sale, and I was going to get a ring and walk across the stage. That was a huge incentive to go to seminar. I would have gone anyway because I want to commit. If I want this to work, that's part of it. So I just want to share that I really, really, really want everybody on ACE's team that wants to sell, that wants to get better, that wants to earn a diamond, wants to earn whatever you want to earn, come to Career Center or come to the career conferences, come to seminar, start to save, start to put a little bit aside. Yes, seminar is a little more expensive because you're flying out to Texas and you're staying in the hotel, but it's it's not it's not as much as you think. Like I thought it was going to be a lot more and it wasn't. Start saving, start putting aside. We can room together. It is so, I watched groups and they had so much fun and camaraderie. And I was the only consultant of Abby's to go. And I thank God I had Abby and Beth and Joe to stay with. But I want you guys there. I want to be with you. I want to be able to mentor you and have fun with you and learn from you because, I can always learn stuff and different opinions and different experiences. We can all help each other and have so much fun and learn so much. So I really encourage you to go to these events. It makes a difference. It really does.
Puts gas back in your tank.
It does.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. That was really, really good stuff. And I was with you and it was fun to hear your recap because I just think that there's so much value in giving yourself that time. It's not easy to push back your life for 5 days and not be with your kids and not be with your husband, but you did it. And you're so glad that you did. And I was glad too. It was such a mutual blessing for me because I have never had someone achieve what you've achieved, Mona, and to watch you cross stage. And I was screaming like a banshee, so excited for you because we've walked together. I've been able to see you in the valley and then watch you get back on the mountaintop and then go back and just to do the journey with you and then watch you celebrate and just all the other special things that it was your mom's birthday and everything. It was a career marker treat for me also. And it was just so special. And I definitely agree with you that we will have way more fun when we have more people come. So that is awesome. I think just to round us out for the evening, I keep thinking about something that you touched on, but just because I've gone to 10 seminars. So it was a totally different experience for me because I know what's coming. I've done it before. There's a little bit of, I know it's like it's not boring, but I do know what's coming. And so it's like, yeah. But every year there's different people on stage. And there's a couple people that I'm thinking about that were queens. And I love your reminder. You said it several times, Mona, when you said they were where we are. They started exactly where we started. And one of them, Shelly has been in the company for 42 years. And she was the queen of unit sales. Is there like feedback on your end? No? Okay. No. She was the queen of unit sales. And her and her team sold 1.2 million worth of Mary Kay. And in the last month, like in June, her dad passed away. And her dad was like, they were obviously very close. And so she dedicated her entire win to her dad. And all of her team had these like wrestling gloves and
boxing gloves. Yeah.
Boxing gloves. Thank you. And his last name was Tough, he went by Tough.
Nickname. Yeah.
His nickname was Tough. And it takes me back to a couple seminars ago where the queen of unit sales, Sherry Purvis, she was number 3 this year, but 4 or 5 years ago, she was number 1. And in May of that year, her son died and she still finished it. And I have goosebumps just telling the story. And I was talking to my friend, Lindsay Creamer, who is almost a national sales director. She lives in Fairlawn. She was telling me a story about their queen in their seminar. They were there a week before us that was homeless 2 years ago. And she was discovered by a girl that was volunteering at the soup kitchen. And this girl was discovered and had, I think, a couple kids. They were all homeless. And now here she is 2 years later. And she told the story of buying a $600,000 house for her family 2 years after she was homeless because of Mary Kay. And you hear like those, that's just the tip of the iceberg of stories. You hear story after story after story of hardship and the woman that chose to anyways. And we all have a choice. We all have crap going on in our lives, right? And you can either choose to do it or you can choose to make that the excuse. It can be your reason to work. It can be your reason to push through. A lot of times for me, it's my therapy. Just to go and focus on other people. What color lipstick would you like, ma'am? What kind of skin do you have? How can I help you? That is like therapy for me because there's so much other bad stuff and we're getting to help people and it's amazing. Or I love helping you guys. I mean, it has been such a joy to help you, Mona, and to watch you grow in your confidence and watch you go from that girl. I remember you calling me after that conference and saying, I don't know if this is for me. And I will never, you guys know me, I will never be the one that lets you give up too soon. But I'm also not going to be the one that's like, you have to do it. And I'm not a pusher. But I remember you calling me and I was sad. I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't quit. I was so sad. I was like, I really hope she doesn't quit because I like her and she's cool. She can help people. Her heart is in the right place. And I'm so glad that you didn't. I'm so glad that you didn't quit. And I know all of you guys should see her customer page. It is just blowing up with love for Mona. And I think the other thing that that I forgot that you reminded me of, Ramona, when we were in Texas is that sometimes this Mary Kay thing, people don't take us seriously. And that can be really, it can mess with your head. And I think when you ignore everyone and push through something that you believe in, especially if that's here, and then you earn something big, then it kind of commands respect. And they're like, oh, you know, so I'm excited to watch that happen for you, Mona. I think it's already happening. People are like, oh, that was real. She wasn't just like blowing smoke up my, okay, you know, and you cannot there. I mean, you guys think that I'm wonderful and that's great, but there's only so much vision that I can give you. There's only so much glamour and glitz and belief and all the things until you go to an event. It is exactly like what you said. And Mary Kay used to say, show up to go up. And so if you are in a spot where you are like not liking it right now, you've got to go to the next event. And I don't know.
You're not alone. It's your business, but you're not alone.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing I forgot, I wanted to make a comment about the diverse women there. Wow. I mean, there was a woman that went across stage that was in a wheelchair that she had, what did she have? I don't even know what it was, but like, I don't think her body didn't grow right. And she was, because she reminded me of my cousin. I have a cousin, Stacy, that passed away. That was, I don't know if it was severe deformity or whatever, but she couldn't talk very much. But she had that, you know, where she didn't grow, where she could walk and be standing and walking. But I'm like, wow. I mean, she didn't let that stop her. There were, you know, people that had walking disabilities, you know, with a cane or with, you know, whatever it was, all different types of women. There's such a variety. It reminded me of, on my side of it, where I'm more familiar with working out. It reminds me of running a race. And here I'm running and I think I'm in good shape, you know, but I'm not a fast runner and I'm just running. And this person goes by me, female or male, and they don't even look like they're in shape enough to run a 5K. And they're passing me. There are all types. And these women that are going across the stage that have the disabilities or whatever it is, they're not letting that stop them. And that was so encouraging. So I love that, about to be able to see all that. There were thousands of women there. How many would you say, Abby?
Usually like 5,000 to 7,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you see it all.
It's amazing. And from 18 to 88, 98. And you see like short, fat, tall, skinny, all of it. All
Yep.
colors. We had lots of international. I mean, it does kind of like, if you think about it's overwhelming to think about a little bit because you're like, everybody's the same. Like
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that separates us is how hard you try.
Mm-hmm. Whatever you put in, yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's not like somebody got promoted because they were the boss's daughter or whatever. It's like they all had to work to get there.
Yep.
And it's so inspiring. And I loved, just to kind of close us out, I loved that our president, Nathan Moore, and our CEO, which is Mary Kay's grandson, Ryan, both of them came out at certain times throughout the week and said, we are not changing our structure. And that, I think I touched on that a couple of weeks ago, that other companies have been moving to a model where they don't have consultants anymore and they just are able to buy online. And that's horrible. None of us would have a job. And that would be really sad for me because I would have to find something else to do and I don't want to do anything else. But they over and over said, this is, especially Ryan, this is my grandma's company. We are not changing a thing. We are family owned. That is unheard of. We are not on the stock market. Unheard of. We are debt free. Unheard of. All of our products, except for 4, are made in the US, researched in the US, with people that work in Dallas, Texas. And in 2024, that is a rarity. And I just think that it is so, we can't talk about that enough, of how much our company wants to keep us successful. They want to keep us on top. They want to keep us relevant. And yeah, I just am very glad that I went. It always blows my mind that I come home and I'm like, what was I even talking about not going? I didn't, because it's kind of, you're just like,
I want so many more people to go next year. And I don't know if we're going to be going to the career conferences in Columbus still, if Brittany and them are going to include us.
I don't think it's going to be open for the fall, but I am trying to workshop something virtually that we could have, like a fall retreat, like a fall training day that would just be like a Saturday, like 9 to noon or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm trying to work on that with a couple other director friends, because I talked to Brittany and Lindsay, and they are not going to be opening it up for the fall, but they probably are going to open up for the spring.
Okay.
So, but we have something definitely coming up, probably October is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, y'all work on it. Be there, be ready. And I babysit my granddaughter, and I had to figure that out too. So, I mean, if I was an empty nester and didn't have any other commitments, it would be easy peasy, to save up money and then not have to worry about anybody's schedule. But I did too. So my heart feels for you if you have young kids or whatever. So I know it's not always easy, but if we plan, we can do it.
Thank you so much, Mona. I appreciate you sharing.
Sure.
Good. All right, my friends. Well, I'm going to read our poem because I love our poem. And then we will be back here next week for, I think we're doing chapter 7 in our book. We'll get back to the book next week, but this was way more important tonight. All right. Our poem. I love this poem so much. Do you get sick of me reading it every week? Okay.
Nope.
Would you tell me that if we weren't live?
No, I would. I love it. It's just such a poignant. It's just so poignant.
I know.
It's a good reminder.
It is. And I need it weekly because I get scared. I was scared to ask you for like 6 months. Oh, the poem is called Maybe She Needs Me. It had been a long day and I was finishing a task. As I hurried past her, that little voice said, ask. Ugh, not today, I told myself. I'm tired and it shows. Besides, I could look foolish, and it's likely she'll say no. While drifting off to sleep that night, I saw her face again. I wondered what her life was like, her dreams, her needs, her pain? What if she'd been praying for a friendly word or smile, the chance to meet somebody that would go the extra mile? What if she'd been looking for a break, an open door? Was this the opportunity that she'd been praying for? I saw the cars she would not drive, the rings she would not wear, because I would not risk myself to stop, to ask, to share. So what if what I offered her was not her cup of tea? That was a choice for her to make. How selfish could I be? When all my dreams are realized, I don't want to feel regret for the lives I didn't touch and change, the no's I didn't get. Oh, let me live the true go give and let my mission be. Not do I need her, but maybe she needs me.
Love
Thanks
it.
again, Mona.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening with Bob.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. I'll see you Thursday for our virtual makeup tips.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Good night.